Mark's finger hovered over the unfriend button. He hesitated. Was this really the end for him and Sarah? Years of friendship reduced to a single click. He closed his eyes and hit the button. A chill ran down his spine. The room felt cold. His phone vibrated. An unknown number. He answered. Static. Then a voice, distorted, menacing. You will regret that. The line went dead. Mark tried to shake off the unease. Probably just a prank. He tossed the phone on the bed. It vibrated again. Same number. He answered. This time a blood-curdling scream. Sarah! He hung up, heart pounding. Another call. He didn't recognize the number. He answered. A deep, guttural voice spoke. The rules are simple. Kill or be killed. Mark dismissed it as a sick joke. He tried calling Sarah, but her number was disconnected. Panic gnawed at his gut. He scrolled through his Facebook feed. It was flooded with news articles. Mysterious deaths linked to social media. Unfriend challenge turns deadly. His blood ran cold. The voice on the phone. The rules. It wasn't a joke, it was real. He had to find Sarah, he had to warn her. He jumped into his car, racing through the night, each unanswered call fueling his fear. He arrived at Sarah's apartment, banging on the door until his knuckles bled. No answer. He kicked down the door, the splintering wood a grim soundtrack to his mounting dread. The apartment was empty, except for Sarah's phone lying on the floor, a single notification glowing on the screen. Mark Jones unfriended you. Days turned into weeks. Weeks bled into months. The world as Mark knew it had vanished, replaced by a terrifying game of survival. He wasn't the only one trapped. He discovered others, victims forced to play by the same twisted rules. The unfriended, the blocked. Their fear was palpable. Their desperation a mirror to his own. He learned the hard way, the consequences of inaction, the agonizing transformation of those who failed to kill. Their humanity stripped away, replaced by something monstrous. Something driven by a primal need for vengeance. He saw it happen. The contorted features, the vacant eyes, the thirst for blood. He became a hunter, not by choice, but by necessity. The line between right and wrong blurred. He justified his actions as self-preservation. He told himself it was them or him. But the guilt festered, a venomous serpent coiled in his gut. He was haunted by the faces of those he had killed, former friends, acquaintances, strangers, all victims of a game they never agreed to play. One night he stumbled upon a group of survivors. They offered him safety, a semblance of normalcy in the chaos. He hesitated. Could he trust them? Could he risk his life on the hope that they weren't playing their own twisted game? He saw a flicker of recognition in one of their eyes. A girl he used to work with. He had unfriended her months ago, before the nightmare began, before he knew the price of rejection. He realized the terrifying truth. The game had changed everyone. Trust was a luxury they could no longer afford. Friendship had become a weapon, a tool for manipulation and betrayal. He saw the malice lurking beneath the girl's sympathetic smile. The cold calculation in her eyes. He knew what he had to do. He ran. He didn't look back. He heard their shouts, their footsteps pounding the pavement behind him. They were hunting him, just like he had hunted others. The irony was a bitter pill to swallow. He was alone, lost in a world where connection equaled death. He was starting to understand the true purpose of the game. It wasn't just about survival. It was about breaking them, shattering their humanity, turning them against each other. The city was a wasteland, empty streets, boarded-up buildings, the remnants of a society consumed by fear and paranoia. The digital divide had become a physical one. Those who remained tethered to the online world were prisoners in their own homes, afraid to disconnect, afraid to become targets. Mark wandered the desolate streets, a ghost in his own right. He scavenged for food, for shelter, for any sign of hope. He clung to the memory of his former life, a life filled with friends, family, and the illusion of safety, a life that now seemed like a distant dream. He stumbled upon a library. Its doors were unlocked, an invitation to a forgotten world. He stepped inside, the musty smell of old books a strange comfort. 7. The price of connection. He spent his days lost in the pages of forgotten stories. Stories of love, loss, and the resilience of the human spirit. Stories that reminded him of the world he had lost, the world he was fighting to survive. One day, he stumbled upon a book on social psychology. He devoured its contents, searching for answers, for an explanation of the madness that had gripped the world. He learned about the power of social influence, the fragility of trust, the dark side of human nature that thrived in the shadows of anonymity. He realized the Unfriend challenge wasn't just a game. It was a social experiment gone wrong, a twisted reflection of their deepest fears and insecurities. It had exposed the dark underbelly of their interconnected world, the price they paid for the illusion of connection. 8. The weight of the red button. He closed the book, a chilling realization washing over him. There was no escaping the game. It was woven into the fabric of their existence. The red button of unfriending, once a symbol of digital dismissal, had become a weapon of mass destruction, a tool that had unleashed the demons lurking beneath the surface of their carefully curated online personas. He thought of all the people he had unfriended over the years, the casual acquaintances, the high school classmates, the ex-girlfriends. Had he inadvertently condemned them to this living nightmare? The guilt was a crushing weight on his chest. He had to find a way to break the cycle, to end the game. But how do you fight against a system that thrives on your fear, a system that had become an inescapable part of their reality? 9. Alone in the crowd. He ventured out into the desolate city, his eyes scanning the faces of the few survivors he encountered. He saw the fear in their eyes, the distrust, the knowledge that they were all potential threats. He realized the game had already won. It had succeeded in isolating them, turning them against each other. He was just another player in a game with no winners, only survivors, and the price of survival was a piece of their humanity. He thought of Sarah. He wondered if she was still out there, if she had managed to hold on to her sanity in this insane world. He clung to the hope of finding her, of escaping the game together. But deep down, he knew it was a futile hope. 10. Trapped in the mirror. The game had changed them, twisted their perceptions of friendship, trust, and the value of human connection. They were no longer the people they once were. They were reflections in a shattered mirror, each shard a distorted image of their former selves. He was trapped in the reflection, a prisoner of his own making. The Unfriend challenge was a chilling reminder that the monsters they feared weren't lurking in the shadows. They were staring back at them from the screens of their devices, and the only way to defeat them was to confront the darkness within themselves. But could they? Or would they be forever trapped in this digital nightmare?